going on, guys? Talon back here, and today I want to give some general tips and suggestions for starting out in Overwatch. Now, it's still in beta right now, as you guys know. It is going until the 9th of May, and then the game comes out on the 24th, I believe. Don't quote me on that exactly. But there are some nice little tips that I found personally when I first started out, because when I first started out, I was really bad. I mean, all the characters play very differently, so I was just like, okay, you know what? You need to sit back, take a breather, and see exactly what I can do to try and get better, and it helped a lot, and the game was just a blast to me now. I love playing it. I've been streaming it a lot, so yeah, let's get right into it. So tip number one is gonna have to be first going into your settings and changing the keys to what fits your playstyle. If you're playing on PC, that is. If you're on console, I'm not sure how they can change the configuration with the buttons and everything. If it's free, then by all means do it. But just being able to assign different keys to what you're used to playing, maybe from other games. For example, I changed melee to F. They had it like Z or something like that for me originally. So that just helps me personally, because that's what I've been using in all my other first-person shooters. So that was definitely really good, and just made it easier to play overall. So that's always just a kind of a nice little general tip when you very first time you start out. So tip number two is going to have to be, now most of the characters have only 4 to 5 moves in total. So just getting with the concept of it's easy to play but hard to master does apply to this game. So you can jump in, you can play any character, and you're going to know that, okay, this button is going to do this no matter what character you're playing. It'll be a different ability, but nonetheless, no one's going to have like 10 abilities while one character only has 2 abilities, something like that. So the more you play with each character, the more you're going to learn about them, and it's going to be really fun. So next, tip number 3 is going to be try to balance with your team. If you see that your team has 2 to 3 offensive players, try to be that person who's like, okay, you know what, I'm going to pick a different class. Generally, if you keep the hints on at the side, it's going to show you, saying too few defense players or no tank players or no support characters. Try to go and become one of those players. That's why I always try to use this next tip, which is going to be all players play differently, so you will not find clones of anyone. So try to pick one from each category that fits your play style. One from attack, one from support, tank type characters, and then kind of like a long range / builder kind of character. If you can even out your class and with your team, then your team's going to do overall better. Because if you have all like close quarters type of assault type of characters, then you're not going to have any support. You're going to be dying really fast. The enemy team is going to steamroll you, and you're not going to like it. So definitely try to balance out your team overall, and I think you'll just have a better time in the long run. So next is kind of building on it even more. Try to get good with at least one character from each category. You're not going to be good right away. I can tell you right now, I sucked. I picked one of the sniper classes, and I just did horrible. So it just takes time to get used to them right away. Don't give up, and just stick with it, and you're going to have a really fun time. Because once I started to find what characters I liked, or if I stuck with the character and I didn't do as well at first, but I kept trying to play them, I kind of stepped back a bit. I was like, okay, what is really good to use? I've started having a lot more fun, and it was a lot more fun overall, so definitely try to do that if possible. So next, my tip will be certain characters are better for certain modes and maps. For example, using a builder, like I'm gonna butcher his name here, but Trojan, he is the dwarf who can make a turret and everything. I would definitely put him towards on if I am going to be defending for that round, not for attacking, unless I can get some really cool perch corner spot that can just rain down fire on the defensive team. I find him better as a defensive player because you can just get up into a corner, plant your turret where you need to, right in line with the objectives, and as the players come running around to try and take it, boom, just fires at him right away, especially when you get his super going. It really hits him hard. So definitely trying to do that always helps. And just, you gotta play around a bit. Sometimes you're gonna find that maybe the sniper is good on both offense and defense. Other times you're gonna find that maybe for the game mode of like payload, as they call it, or I refer to it like rush, kind of like with from Battlefield. The sniper's actually good on both offense and defense, but you just have to play around and see what kind of fits your play style. So definitely just take your time and try to figure out what works best for you. So The next step is going to be a very simple one, but very important for a kind of game like this, and it's use comms. Find a way to talk with the people on your team. If no one has any comms going on, at least type in the chat box, at least if you're on PC, and just tell people like, hey, watch the left, watch the right, you know, do that kind of stuff. I know it seems very obvious, kind of a duh thing, but you'd be surprised how many people don't communicate, and sometimes it can mean the difference between winning and losing. So, or maybe if your team has a ton of support characters but no offensive characters, tell them in the chat like, hey guys, how about someone change it up or something like that, because we need some more attackers to try and take the objective. So that definitely helps there a lot. So, and you know, if you've ever heard the old saying, PTFO, play the objective. There's a little word in there, but you guys will know what it is. So definitely try to do that if possible, and it's going to help you out a lot. It can turn the tide of a battle like no tomorrow. Next little tip is going to be learn the basic map layouts for each map. I'm not saying to this style of CSGO or anything where you know, like, you know, that wall, this spot exactly to the nail or anything like that, but just kind of know the general layout, I would say. You know, many maps have different routes, which is really cool, like for like flanking or trying to get around the opponent. But some maps do have more than others. So just kind of knowing that, especially when you start out, maybe you know, okay, you know the enemy's always going to defend on the left side, so maybe try on the right side or something, and go up the center even maybe, but always keep an eye out on the perches and everything, because snipers love to get up there, so definitely be careful of that. So that would just be my next little tip. Next little tip, which is actually very easy, and it always tells you in the hints if you keep them on, but hold F1. It'll actually show you what each character can do, its abilities, supers, you name it. It's just really kind of helpful, especially when you're really just first starting out and you're going against like half a team that's like played this game for like months on end. So that can just be a little easy little tip there that can be very helpful for you. So and my last tip just has to be, this game can get very competitive. It is kind of built more towards the competitive nature of things. I think they're trying to do a bunch of stuff with esports and stuff like that, but I personally will never get into the esports thing, but it is a lot of fun just to play. I get really competitive with it, and I'm not gonna be some competitive player going out trying to make money on this or anything, but it is really fun just to go in and have a good time, especially on comms with your friends. You can have a blast, and you just get really into it, and it's really fun. So try not to get discouraged if you're playing against a bunch of really good players. If you need to, exit the lobby, you know, find another server maybe, or if you're stuck in there, you know, just try, you know, try out different characters. You never know. I find that every character has, you know, a weakness to another character in some way or form. So if you just try and stick with it, you're going to have a lot of fun. So, but overall, those are just kind of some general tips that I found personally when playing the game for the very first few hours. A lot more to go through. I want to try and go through every character that I possibly can, kind of give you some tips on each individual character, but so far I've been loving this game, and I really hope you guys are enjoying the videos. I love just making these, you know, so I can help you guys out, and it kind of helps me because I get to look back and be like, oh yeah, I probably should start actually doing that myself. So, you know, it helps me remind myself that I should be doing that stuff as well. So, but anyway, guys, if you guys liked the video, leave a like down below and leave a comment if you have any questions about it, whether it's general or a certain character. I will try to put out some more character tips videos once this one's out. So until next time, guys, have a good one and take it easy.